Hey guys, Mark here. Welcome to another one of my videos. In this one, we're going to be making a simple gaucho fan knot paracord bracelet. Here you can see the bracelet that we're going to be making. It is done using two colors, and it is one in a slip-on style. So basically, it doesn't have a buckle or a loop and a knot to close it off. It is one continuous braid, around and around, and you simply slide it around your wrist. Let's quickly take a look at the supplies. We're going to need a cylindrical object to tie our bracelet onto. In my case, I'm going to be using a Pringles can, but you can also use a PVC pipe, a glass jar, perhaps a can, whatever you have. Now, besides the cylindrical object, I recommend using a rubber band to hold the ends of our cords while we're tying the bracelet. So a cylindrical object and a rubber band. Two cords are going to be used to tie our bracelet. Each is 4 feet long. If you have one, use a lacing needle to make tying the bracelet a bit easier. And finally, scissors and a lighter are going to be used to cut and melt our cords. Let's begin. We're going to start tying by taking one of our cords, passing one end under the rubber band, and attaching a lacing needle onto the other end. We're then going to pass around our mandrel, like this, over the standing end, and around again. Pass over this cord, then under over. Take the middle one out of the 3 strands and pass it over the right strand. With your working hand, pass under over. Make sure that the middle strand passes over the left one, then pass under over using your working hand. Take the middle out of the 3 strands, pass it over the right one, and pass under over using your working hand. Take the middle out of the 3 strands, pass it over the left one, then travel under over using your working hand, like this. Place your working hand alongside the standing hand, so traveling under one. Place it under the rubber band, and we have completed our work with the first cord. We continue with our second strand. We place it under the rubber band onto the left of the first standing hand. Onto the working hand, we attach our lacing needle. We're going to start on the left of our first standing hand, traveling under, over, under. So like this. When we exit with an under, we re-enter with an over. So over, under, over. When we exit with an over, we re-enter with an under. Under, over, under. When we exit with an under, we re-enter with an over. Over, under, over. When we exit with an over, we re-enter with an under. Under, over, under. Continue by traveling over, under, and over too. On the left, we begin with an under, over two, under one. Continue over, under, and over two. And again, under, over two, under one. And on the right, over one, under one, and over two. On the left, under one, over two, under one. We continue over one, under two, over two. Then under two, over two, under one. Over one, under two, over two. Under two, over two, under one. And finally, over one, under two, and over two. Like this. Place your working hand alongside the second standing hand, traveling under two. And this ties our bracelet. I'm now going to tighten it up a bit and even it out, starting at the first working hand and working from my working hand towards the standing hand. So through the bracelet, evening things out and tightening up. Basically, I want the same width throughout the entire bracelet. Like this. And the second working hand, again, I work from my second working hand through the bracelet and into the second standing hand. Again, tightening up and evening out my bracelet. Like this. When you get an even bracelet with a nice looking pattern, we're going to continue by finishing the four ends. To finish up, we're going to join the two ends of our first cord and the two ends of our second cord. This is done on the underside of the bracelet, where we basically feed one end into the other and melt the joint section. This part is not visible on the outside. Start off on the underside. Take a look at the two ends and trim them appropriately. So I'm going to trim this end and this end. I'm going to remove about ½ inch of inner strands from both of the ends. I'm going to shape one end into a point like this, and the other end into a cone-like shape. like this. So the pointy end is going into the cone, like this. Now before I'm going to insert it, I'm going to slightly melt it and push it in. Like this. I'm going to heat up this section here and shape it between my fingers. I want a nice round shape. So let's say something like this. I'm going to repeat the same thing with the other two ends. And that completes our bracelet. So now all we are going to do is turn it around and the joint section is not terribly visible. And that's our project. I hope that I demonstrated everything clearly enough and that you were able to complete your very own slip-on style gaucho fan knot bracelet. Thank you very much for joining me today. Consider supporting the site on Patreon and I'll see you next time.